Welcome to People with Purpose. I am your host, Sylvain Rochon. I'm a speaker, an author, a serial entrepreneur, and a business strategist. My purpose is to engineer a paradise on Earth using cutting-edge technology. I hope this show will give you excellent examples of individuals that chose to do great things in their personal and professional lives. Perhaps they will inspire you to follow in their footsteps. The show's format is very simple. I ask my guests 3 simple questions. What is your personal purpose? Why is it important to you? And how did you get started? Now let's hear from our guest. Hello everyone, welcome to People with Purpose. I am your host Sylvain Rochon, and I am here with a long-time friend of mine. His name is Daniel Turcotte. He is the founder of Kiné Concept and a guide of the Raelian Movement, responsible for North America and the ET Embassy project. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Sylvain. How are you?
I'm doing really good. This is quite exciting. I've been looking forward to interviewing you for a while, but we're both very busy people.
Yeah.
But we've known each other for, I've been involved in the philosophy, the Raelian Movement philosophy for 25 years. Oh, actually over 25 years. And you've been around before that, so we've been rubbing shoulders for a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a privilege to know you, first of all, and to work with you, because we're working on some projects too.
That's right.
So it's great. It's great. So I'm very happy and honored to be interviewed by you today. So,
well, thank you very much. We're both entrepreneurial in our professional lives, and we're also both philosophically minded and concerned about humanity, the planet, these things. But the People with Purpose is really about you, not necessarily our history, actually not at all about our history, but about what is your life purpose. And I'm really curious to know, what is this for you?
well, I think that my life purpose is not very different from other people's life purpose. I think everybody wants to be happy, but I would say the main concern is that everybody don't know how to be happy. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the world in which we live now, one of the main goals is to focus on the present time, to focus on the now. Because when you look the world we are living in here right now, they bring you to the past, they bring you to the future, and they criticize the past and they are afraid about the future. So while you are in the past and in the future, you're not in the present time. Mm-hmm. So, and you know, we don't learn that at school, huh? We don't learn, we don't learn how to be happy at school. We learn mainly about the past, because the knowledge that they are teaching in the school is past. Mm-hmm. And the future, because you study today for your future. So basically the education we have here in North America is based on either past or future. But to me, the key of happiness is it's either the past or future, it's present time. But as you know, it's a huge challenge. You know, I'm talking about it, but I don't pretend that I'm fully happy. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it through meditation, too much, because thinking is not the present time. Thinking is past, or you think about the future, so you don't really enjoy the moment when you think. So it's a big, because once again, at school, university, from primary school until university, they learn how to think. And thinking, it's the contrary of being happy in my vision. So it's quite a challenge, and it was a challenge too as a business person. Because when you are in the business, you deal, because you have a business too. So you deal with banks, with governments, and you have to think about the future. You're making a plan, what's gonna be the number next year, and you have to hire people, fire people. So You know, it's very difficult to focus on the moment. But because it's difficult, it's interesting. Because if it would be easy, for me, it would be, how would I say, it would be insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's difficult, I think it's worth going deeper into it and see what you can do to be happier. Not by buying stuff or wasting or spending money on objects. It's important, of course, we need it to have a comfortable life.
Mm-hmm.
But to be in the now.
So how, Daniel, how does this this concept of the now, as you just described, and how it's important is, how does it translate into your purpose? Because purpose means action, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very interesting question. Yeah, because to be in the action, you have to think about the action you're going to make. So that's why it's quite a challenge to be fully in the now. But to tell you the truth, from my experience, in the environment we live in right now, it's almost impossible to be in the now all the time. It's almost impossible. But you know, it's a goal. And what's important when you have a goal, it's not really to reach the goal, but it's the way, it's how you will evolve through your goal. This is what's important. And it was the same for the business. For me, the business, of course, it was to make money and to live well and to have a good retirement. But what was important for me is how can I use what I am learning to be a happier person, and how can I help people to be happier?
Okay, so your purpose, your personal purpose, number one, is for yourself to be in the now and as happy as you can be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also to teach others how to actually achieve these goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's also one of my goals as a guide in the Raelian movement, you know, to try to apply this teaching for myself first, so hopefully I can become a model without talking, because talking is important, but I think that being is more important. So if I can inspire people through what I became, that's the best reward I can have as a human being. And if I'm not happy myself, that means that something is going wrong in our humanity, because one people unhappy means that the whole humanity is unhappy. So I feel responsible for my happiness, and I'm trying to help others to be happy too.
So why is it so important to you to guide others through example and the world to be happier? Why is that so important to you?
You know what? It was not important for me. It was not my goal when I was younger. But you know, I didn't choose to become a guide in the Raelian movement. I was just put there, and what do you do when you become a guide? Well, you try to understand what it is to be a guide. First of all, you have to be a guide for yourself, and you have to have a lot of compassion for yourself, because sometimes people are looking at you as a perfect person. But I'm not perfect, and I'm happy to be imperfect, because it must be very difficult to be perfect. And I don't think that it exists anywhere in the universe, someone or something perfect. So, yeah, I don't know. It was not my goal to guide others, and it's not really my goal. It's just trying to be myself. And if by being myself I can inspire others, it's a big joy for me. It's not happiness, because it's from outside, and happiness coming from inside. But it's a joy to see that I can have that influence on other people and helping them to grow. It's incredible, and I'm sure you feel the same when you teach. Or teaching is not about yourself; it's about others. And as you know, you learn a lot from the people you teach to, way more than what you are teaching them.
Oh, absolutely. Probably that's why I enjoy teaching so much.
Exactly. So my purpose of life is not very different from other people life, but I just think that thanks to my philosophy, I have more tools probably to grow and to be a better person.
I think there's something I realize as well, and I think you touched on it, is that a lot of people around us, as you said, like, we're not different than anybody else. Everybody is seeking happiness, right? Because it's biological, even because I have backgrounds in biochemistry. Is like I see the chemical reactions in my head. It's like it's biological. We are all seeking it. But the issue is that people are confused about how to reach it. They all think that it's from an outside influence, or it's in the past, or it's in the future. There's not. I mean, there are some influencers out there. There are some guides, some philosophies that are teaching the now. Mm-hmm. Teachers on the now and true happiness have been teaching it for thousands of years.
Absolutely.
It's not a new concept, but in the modern world, not a lot of people are exposed to those teachings anymore. I think it's kind of lost, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe that's why the Buddhism is getting more and more popular, because first of all, there's no God in the Buddhism, and less people believe in God because science and technology is explaining basically everything. Mm-hmm. But they are looking for something to be happy. And in that way, Buddhism is very interesting, and it's probably one of the reasons why it's more and more popular. So it's not really an organization. It's just, I know some Buddhists, so they just go, to meditate, and they meditate every day. And meditation, it's a good way. Try not to think for 1 minute.
It's harder than people think.
It's a gift. It's a gift from life when you can be even 30 seconds without thinking. Because if you try to stop thinking, right away your brain is starting to think about many things. So it's really a training, and I wish that in the future they will teach that from when you're born. Mm-hmm. When you start as a child to be conscient, to try to start teaching happiness and meditation. And I'm sure that if we do that, our planet will be a paradise in a few years from now. And it's possible. In some countries, they are doing it. So if they are doing it, that means that it's possible, it's feasible.
There's something I just read a few days ago, and a very short time ago. There was it was about a study, and I don't remember the references, unfortunately, and I would have to dig it up. But there was some researchers that surveyed a bunch of people. It was a decently good scientific research where sources of pleasure were measured in people, not chemically, but people kind of asking people and doing little tests and things like that. And the top 3 sources of pleasure that were identified over a huge sampling, the number 3 was psychedelic drugs.
Really?
Yeah, as a source of pleasure or well-being. The second one, the third one was sex. Sorry. The second one was psychedelic drugs. And the first one was extremely surprising. It was described basically as a sense of oneness with the universe.
Really?
As if people, and it was very oddly described because each individual described it, that feeling, in a different way, because there's no real word for it, like in the English language, as far as we know. I can't think of one. So it was like a very weird term that the psychologists kind of thought, well, this is what they mean. So people, what it meant to me when I read this search is that people understand, they actually feel that this exists, this kind of feeling exists, and they are seeking it more so than concepts like sex or drugs to get a high. Mm-hmm. So definitely, even though people not necessarily fully aware of this search, I guess, for to be in the now, but at least on a subconscious level they are, because we've all felt it at a certain point without putting it. There's these perfect moments some people would describe, right? Like at certain points where they feel totally at one with the universe, and then it's gone, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I'd have to dig that research back up to
very interesting.
Figure it out.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's other research I've seen that were alongside to that, but I don't want to get into that. I have a final question for you, which I always ask everybody. I'd like to know that if you think back when you were young, like as young as you can, like where do you think you actually started identifying or connecting with this purpose of yours, this thought of being in the now and so on? Like, when does this kind of realization first happen? Where did you get this thirst?
Very interesting question, because I never asked myself that question. So very, very interesting. And you remind me something. When I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, I was drawing and painting. And you know, without thinking, I didn't know while I was doing it, what would be the result. I was just, you know, taking colored pen and, you know, a piece of paper and just drawing like this. And you know what? I really felt connected at that time, and I felt I was not thinking. You know, thinking is you learn to think, because when you're a baby, you don't think. You were talking about feeling, and yes, living is feeling. You feel, and that's why it's hard to explain. You have to feel. So I think that this is probably the first moment in my life I realized, you know, the importance, not the importance because I was too young, but I could feel the moment. And nothing else was important. You know, you look at a child playing with the insect, there's nothing else around. They are 100% in the caterpillar or the ant or the butterfly, and nothing else counts around. So they are 1,000% focused in the moment. So I really love what you said, that it's in your gene, you know, it's in your genetic code, because I truly believe it's the case. We were born to be happy, but the society is bringing us outside of that happiness with a lot of distraction, fear, and stuff like that. So yes, I truly believe that we were born to be happy. And I feel responsible for my happiness. And if I'm unhappy, I don't blame anyone around. It's me. It's my responsibility. And maybe another thing I would love to add, if you allow me,
sure.
It's as I am, as everybody, aging. I'm now 60 years old. So I feel that I have to prepare more and more for the end of my life. 60 years old is really young, still very young. I hope I will live at least 100 years, maybe more. With the science and technology, I think that I will reach it, but you never know when you're gonna die. And I work on myself more and more to not understand, but to feel what could happen when my life is over. So, and once again, we don't teach people. There's no school to learn how to die properly and happily. A lot of seminars are given to live better, but to my knowledge, there's not a lot of seminars giving to how to live your death. And but I'm waiting for anyone to teach me. I'm trying to read about it and to apply our philosophy once again. And yeah, it's very, very interesting process in my brain right now.
Well, I think you're a terrific teacher. I've always admired whenever you would speak, and I would be in attendance in our discussions, you and I I think the message that you bring is very powerful. It's basic biology. Like I could go into the bio aspects of it, and it's number one importance on the planet. I mean, there's nothing more important than this. If we're talking about, harmony between each other, collaboration, peace, lowering stress, talking about any significant problem, even like wars, like between individuals. If individuals are able to understand and get happiness, right, and get to that state, they don't want to get into a violent confrontations or feel the stress and tensions of those situations. So they work it out with others using words and actions, and things kind of dangerous situations melt away. People are fed, right?
Absolutely.
It's
very true.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are both teachers. And hopefully this video is going to be yet another example among many of a model, of a guide that people watching can follow and take an example from. I think that's all we can do, just be examples, and people can choose to follow or not, I guess, right?
Absolutely. And you're my guide because, everybody is a model to someone. So you're my guide. Maybe I'm your guide too. But I just feel like thanking you for this trust and this opportunity that you gave me just to express myself and to be myself in front of you and your viewers. So thank you very much, Sylvain. And I hope I will see you in person soon to hug you and so that you can feel my love.
That would be awesome. Yeah, in the next few months, I'm pretty sure we're going to see each other once or twice.
I hope so.
See how things work out. But thank you very much for accepting the invitation. Awesome.
Thank you, Sylvain.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. Please join me also on Clubify, a social app allowing us to share ideas and where you can participate in some of my projects. The link is in the section below. Also, if you wish to recommend someone great I should interview, please let me know. And as always, follow your passion. See you next week.